You don't win her over by talking. You win by going silent. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the truth no one tells you. The moment you go quiet, not needy, not chasing, not explaining yourself, something inside her shifts. She starts wondering, obsessing, playing back every word, every moment, every silence like it holds a secret message. You see, most men have been lied to about how women think. You've been told to express your feelings, be honest about what you want, communicate more. And while those things might work in a perfect world, they don't work in the real dynamics of attraction, especially when she's starting to lose interest, test your confidence, or pull away. Here's the hard truth. The more you talk, the less she listens. The more you explain, the more she takes you for granted. And the moment you go quiet, she feels it in her chest. Why? Because silence isn't passive. It's powerful. It says, I don't need you to feel okay with myself. And when a man can master the art of silence, especially after emotional tension, conflict, or distance, he immediately flips the power dynamic. She starts questioning her value in your eyes. She wonders if you're over her. She fears you've moved on. And that fear, it triggers something primal. This video isn't about games. It's not about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your masculine power, using silence as a weapon of self-respect, not revenge. If you've ever been ghosted, ignored, or felt like no matter what you say, she doesn't respond, this is your wake-up call. Because once you understand what silence really does to a woman's psychology, you'll never over-explain, over-apologize, or over-invest again. Let's break it down. 1. Silence triggers. Her anxiety. Let's get something straight. A woman's mind doesn't sit still. It races, especially when you stop giving her what she's used to. Your words, your reactions, your energy. When you go quiet, she doesn't relax. She spirals. Why? Because silence feels like rejection. And rejection, especially when it's unclear, feeds her deepest fear, being replaced. See, women are emotional detectives. They overanalyze texts, tones, timing, everything. When you suddenly stop replying, stop checking in, or stop giving her that emotional reassurance she used to get from you, she doesn't assume you're busy. She assumes she's losing you. That silence creates a void, and her mind rushes to fill it, with stories, worries, doubts, and questions. Did I do something wrong? Why hasn't he called? Is he losing interest? Is there another girl? And that is where the shift happens. The power isn't in ignoring her to punish her, it's in letting her own thoughts do the work for you. When you go quiet, it forces her to face herself, to feel the absence of your presence. And that silence, it hits different than any text, call, or paragraph ever could. It's subtle, but it's loud in her head, because the less you say, the more she feels. 2. She reads into everything you don't say. Here's a truth most men miss. Your silence speaks louder than your words ever could. When you don't reply, when you don't ask her how she feels, when you don't react to her games, she notices. And more importantly, she starts to assign meaning to your silence. Women are wired to read between the lines. When you stop feeding her with emotional cues, she doesn't shrug and move on. She builds entire stories in her head. You didn't text back? You're mad at her. You didn't like her post? You don't care anymore. You saw her message and didn't reply? You must be with another woman. Crazy? Not really. It's just how emotional attention works. You've got to understand something. Women communicate emotionally. Even when you're saying nothing, she hears something. And when there's no clear answer from you, she creates her own. And guess what? It's usually not a positive one. That's how powerful silence is. You don't need to block her. You don't need to argue. You don't even need to explain. Just step back, and her mind will run laps trying to figure you out. And the more she tries to decode your silence, the more mentally invested she becomes. She's not letting go. She's getting deeper. 3. The chase only begins when you pull back. Let's be real for a second. Most guys chase too early and too hard. You meet a girl you like, and instantly you're texting first, planning dates, complimenting her, trying to show her you care. But here's what no one tells you. You can't chase a woman into wanting you. Attraction doesn't grow when you give her everything up front. It grows in your absence. Think about it. When was the last time a girl truly obsessed over a guy who was always available, always texting, always reassuring her? Almost never. Because when a woman knows she has you, she relaxes. She doesn't chase, you do. But the second you pull back, everything changes. Suddenly, she feels the space. Suddenly, she questions her hold on you. Suddenly, you become unpredictable. And that unpredictability, it drives her wild. Here's why. Women value what they have to work for. If you're always showing up, always available, she never has to wonder how you feel. She knows. There's no tension, no uncertainty, no mystery. But when you step back, when you go quiet, take longer to reply, stop initiating conversations, she starts to feel something strange. And that something is what makes her want to chase. Not because she's desperate, but because she feels you slipping away. And biologically, emotionally, that taps into a woman's competitive instincts. Now she wants to earn your time. Now she starts investing. Now she's the one checking her phone, rereading messages, trying to figure out where she stands. And that's when the game flips. And the moment she feels that gap, she fills it with curiosity, interest, and eventually, action. The real chase doesn't begin when you pursue her. It begins when you stop. 4. Attention is her addiction. Starve it. Here's the harsh truth, brother. You've been feeding her addiction, and you didn't even know it. Women crave attention like oxygen. Not just yours, everyone's. Social media, selfies, stories, likes, DMs, her entire world is designed to keep her validated. But here's where most men mess up. They confuse giving attention with building attraction. Let's be real for a second. If you're constantly texting her good morning, liking all her posts, replying to every story, complimenting her outfit like you're her personal hype man, what exactly do you think you're teaching her? You're teaching her that your attention is cheap, that she doesn't have to earn it, that all she has to do is exist, and you'll show up like clockwork. And then you wonder why she's not interested, why she's dry, why she's pulling away. Wake up, man. Attention is currency, and you've been throwing yours around like it's worthless. But here's the twist. The second you stop, the second you starve the addiction she's been feeding off, now she notices. Because women are used to the flood of attention. They're used to validation on demand. But when you, the man she expected to chase, don't, it messes with her head. Now she starts questioning herself. Now she starts looking for a hit of your attention again. Now she starts doing more, posting more, trying harder, sending little signals, just to see if you'll bite. And here's the key. Don't bite. Don't give her what she hasn't earned. Don't be another guy in line. Start treating your attention like something valuable, because it is. When you give it to everyone, it means nothing. But when you give it rarely, and only when it's deserved, it becomes addictive. Stop trying to win her with compliments. Stop overfeeding what she already has too much of. Start controlling the supply. Because when you pull back your attention, you're no longer just another option in her inbox. You become the one she notices is missing. 5. She starts competing for your focus. Let's get one thing straight. Women want what other women want, and when your energy shifts away from chasing her, suddenly you become the man she wants to chase. Here's why. When you go quiet, when you stop reacting to her little games, when you stop being glued to her, you're signaling value. You're telling her, without saying a word, I have options. And that's when something deep kicks in. She starts to wonder, who's he talking to? Why isn't he chasing me like before? Did he lose interest? Or did someone else catch his eye? Now she's not just thinking about you. She's thinking about who else might have your attention. And when that happens, the competition begins. Women are far more competitive than they let on, but it's not loud competition. It's quiet warfare. She'll post more, dress better, show up in places you might be. She's not doing that for fun, she's doing it for your focus. Because when a man with value goes silent, he forces her to step up or get left behind. And that pressure, that uncertainty, that fear of being replaced, that's what pulls effort out of her. But here's the trap most men fall into. The moment she starts putting in effort, they reward her too fast. They respond too soon, compliment too quick. And the game resets. She feels in control again. She no longer needs to try. She goes right back to giving you the bare minimum. So here's the move. Don't rush. Let her compete. Let her wonder. Let her prove that she deserves your energy, because your focus is power. And once she feels it drifting, she'll do whatever it takes to pull it back. This isn't about being manipulative. It's about understanding your value and making her earn what most guys give away for free. Remember, you're not chasing validation. You are the validation. And when she realizes that, she stops entertaining other men and starts working to be seen by you. 6. Your silence triggers her ego. Let's not sugarcoat it. Women have egos too, and sometimes it's even bigger than a man's. She's used to being noticed. She's used to men jumping through hoops. She's used to winning without trying. So when a guy like you suddenly goes quiet, when you don't double text, don't chase, don't validate, it stings. Not her heart, her ego. Because your silence says something louder than any words ever could. You don't impress me that easily. You want to wake a woman up? Stop talking. Stop proving. Stop giving her free access to your emotional energy. Your silence becomes a mirror. She starts seeing herself more clearly, and she doesn't like what she sees. Now she starts doubting. Now she starts missing. Not because you were perfect, but because you stopped feeding her ego. It's not about punishing her. It's about breaking her pattern. Every girl has a long line of guys stroking her ego. Don't be one of them. Be the exception. Be the silence she can't figure out. Be the man she thought she had, until he slipped through her fingers. And once her ego takes that hit, once she realizes she's not the center of your world, she'll do anything to become it again. That's when she reaches out. That's when she overcompensates. That's when she starts chasing the silence she once ignored. 7. Silence feels like rejection to her. Let's break this down. To a woman, silence isn't space. It's not cooling off. It's not neutrality. It feels like rejection. And rejection to a woman is war. See, women are wired to pick up on social signals, especially from men they think they have power over. So when you go silent, when you don't react to her stories, her games, her passive-aggressive jabs, she doesn't just feel ignored, she feels unwanted. And that cuts deep. Because most men give her attention even when she doesn't deserve it. So the moment you don't, she assumes you're rejecting her. Now she starts questioning her worth. Now she starts getting emotional. Now she's comparing herself to the imaginary woman she thinks you're giving attention to instead. It's no longer about what you said or did. It's about what you're not saying. And to her, silence feels louder than any insult. But here's what you need to understand. Most women will never admit this. They'll act cool, post a selfie, laugh on their story. But inside they're spiraling, because rejection isn't something women are used to. And your silence feels like a silent rejection, especially if she once had your full attention. That's where your power is. You're not yelling. You're not arguing. You're just not giving her your presence. That's what drives her crazy. So if you've been trying to get a woman's attention, chasing, over-explaining, trying to fix everything, stop. Your silence is your strength. Use it. Because while words may start an argument, silence starts an obsession. 8. She assumes you've leveled up. Now this is where it gets interesting. When you go silent, she doesn't just wonder where you went. She starts imagining what you became. And the imagination is way more powerful than the truth. She starts thinking, he must be doing better without me. Maybe he's moved on to someone hotter. Did he get more confident? Richer? Colder? Suddenly, your silence paints a picture in her head, and it's always more attractive than the reality. Because she doesn't see you struggling. She sees you winning. She imagines you dressing better, acting more mysterious, attracting other women. And here's what most men don't realize. Mystery is sexier than presence. The less she knows about what you're doing, the more her mind fills in the blanks. And guess what? Her mind doesn't imagine you sitting on the couch missing her. No, it imagines you leveling up. And that's powerful. Because now, she's not just missing you, she's feeling left behind. And when a woman starts feeling like she lost someone who's rising, her ego panics. Now she wants to prove she still matters. Now she wants your attention back, not because you chased her, but because you outgrew her. So here's the key. Stay silent and level up. Actually improve. Hit the gym. Dress better. Handle your money. Stay on purpose. Because the moment she even suspects you've evolved without her, she'll come back, hoping to still be part of your story. But this time, you're the upgraded version, and she has to prove she belongs in your new world. 9. Women crave what they can't predict. Here's the brutal truth. Predictability is a turnoff, and most guys are painfully predictable. She texts, you reply in seconds. She posts, you like. She pulls back, you chase. And because she knows exactly what you'll do, she loses interest. Women need emotional stimulation. They need tension, curiosity, uncertainty. If they can figure you out in 1 week, they stop feeling that pull. But silence is unpredictable, and unpredictable men are addicting. When you suddenly go quiet, no warning, no drama, no explanation, it scrambles her brain. She doesn't know if you're mad, over her, or completely indifferent. And that confusion, obsession. She starts checking your profile. She replays your last convo. She stalks your online status, trying to figure out why you disappeared. Because silence doesn't give her closure. And women hate open endings. They want to understand. They want to feel in control. So when she can't predict you, she starts chasing you. This is where most men fail. They think consistency means constant access. But real consistency is being solid in your standards, not available 24/7. You don't have to ghost. You just have to stop being easy to read. So if you want her attention back, don't explain. Don't argue. Don't double text. Just disappear. Quietly, calmly. And let her mind go wild. Because while nice guys try to impress her with attention, you'll impress her with silence. Here's the hard truth no one else will tell you. The moment you go quiet, you stop being her boyfriend and start becoming her obsession. Most men think being nice and always available wins her over. It doesn't. It makes you invisible. When you stop reacting, stop chasing, and just disappear for a moment, you flip the entire game. I want to hear from you. Have you ever gone quiet and noticed how she reacted? Drop your stories in the comments. I read every single one, and personally reach out to men who share real experiences. This isn't just a video, it's a community where we learn, grow, and win together. So hit that comment, share your truth, and let's start a conversation that changes the way you play the game.